Welcome to the Inside Scoop podcast about self improvement and knowledge seeking. Our aim is to explore a diverse range of topics and perform self checks on whether we're being the best versions of ourselves every week. I'm your host, Marius Herbelis. Let's get started. This time, I'm here with my co host, Oscar. Hi there.
Hey there, how's it going?
And then the topic for today was an interesting one that you proposed about what would a world without internet be like? And I
Yeah,
was I was thinking, especially with all the current situation with COVID and online remote teaching and meetings and everything, like we can sort of still live normally, can't we? Like because we have internet, right?
yeah,
Not to say like that the new normal is it should be the normal because meetings and face to face everything I guess it's better, right? But
yeah.
what would it be
So,
like without it? Any thoughts straight right off the bat?
I just want to say why the idea of having this as a podcast topic came to me. Uh, and I was basically like realizing that this distractions that I have when I give into things like ordering um, food takeaway through like apps like Just Eat and whatever. And like it's lately been getting worse and worse, and I'm like, the worst thing with like the best weapon or the worst thing for addiction, right? Let's say if it's becoming an addiction,
Mm-hmm.
uh the worst thing for it is availability, right?
Right, yeah.
So if it's like so easy I can like order food from the comfort of my uh bed or whatever, then I'm just going to do it. Otherwise I have to get up, I have to go out and everything. And I was just thinking, what would it be like if I just got rid of internet? Because I was trying to figure out, well, what can I do? Like what can I do to fight this? Because like one thing is having discipline, but the other is the fact that all of these things are in our face, right? And they're instantly available at our fingertips, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, video games, or ordering fast food online. It's all right there. Um, so I was like, what if I could just eliminate the temptation that's like there's zero work. I don't even have to move anywhere. Um, and so like I kind of thought about it for a little bit, and I looked at iPhone has a little thing that's called screen time, and you can be like, oh, you can limit how much time you have on certain apps or whatever. Uh, and you can put a lock on it, but obviously you know the lock. So I was like, okay, what if I um, make a lock, uh, enter it, and then hash it um, with an algorithm that takes like a long time to process. So it's a timed algorithm, basically. Like if I want to get the password back, like I would have seen the password once, but I wouldn't like try to memorize it. Um, so basically, this would allow me to have the password like hashed, so I would know what it is. And if I wanted to, I could get the password back, but it would take a long time to get it back, even though it's only like 4 digits. But you get algorithms which you can make the processing time of those algorithms very as long as you want. It's a very interesting concept. So I was looking at that, and I was like, okay, well that eliminates the iPhone, but that's not good enough because then I can still. I mean, it's a good start because you can be lying on your bed with your iPhone and do like order food. Otherwise, I have to get up and do it, in the web browser or whatever. I was like, but it doesn't eliminate the possibility of doing these things or playing video games or going on Facebook or watching so many YouTube videos. So I was like, what if I just removed internet from my life, like go on an internet detox? Um, and then if I need anything from the internet, I would go to maybe coffee shop, connect up there, get what I need, and that'll be it. So that's where the idea came from, for what would the world today be like if you removed the internet.
Whoa, dude. That's interesting.
'Cause I don't think we realize how much more we could get done. Like, there's the fact that, or how much more focus we would have, but there's the fact that there are so many useful things about the internet. You can get pretty much answer any question you have by just googling it, or get some quickly research things. But there's the downside of, well, all these distractions and temptations are at your fingertips all the time, every second of the day. And imagine you could just remove that, and that really is a thing, because I've experienced this. If you remove that temptation, that you don't have to think about it. Like, if I have to go through a whole process of going somewhere, downloading a video game, coming back home, playing it, and then without the internet as well, it's like a lot harder than if I had internet at home, right?
Yeah, I can share my personal experiences about this if you want.
Yeah.
There was a specific time last year where my internet connection got cut because apparently someone told someone, that our address, the flat that I live at, is gonna, require a new internet service provider. So it's like someone else registered under our address has decided to switch the providers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a huge nonsense happening. I kept calling and declining the thing, and then after some time I called them up again and say so are you sure that the email that I received, which says that on the first of some month, I'm gonna have my internet connection? They're like, yes, we can assure you, rest assured, it's fine. And then the day of, I wake up and I just don't have any internet access. I'm like, God damn it, come on, guys, what the hell? And it literally took 4 weeks, a month, till I got internet access at home back.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experienced this detox involuntarily, but I have been in such a situation where, I would need to go back on campus or to the library, or as you previously mentioned, a cafe or something. The only thing that how it was beneficial is because dude, I'm the worst offender of watching YouTube so much.
So
YouTube,
you downloaded stuff, right?
Yeah,
to watch later.
Yeah, the thing is, but because I download stuff to watch later, right? I only have a limited selection of things, and I don't just constantly and continuously scroll through the algorithm, which keeps feeding you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way you mentioned screen time, right now I have YouTube has released this new thing, which is a notification to remind you when it's bedtime.
Yeah,
I set this on, and I don't think I've ever listened to it.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that. Maybe it's got a little bit of an effect, but
it doesn't really have an effect on me for some reason. Because I set it past midnight, right? But I always know that if I go to sleep at 1, so I for sure do know that between midnight and 1 a.m., for example, I'll be watching or listening to something, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be using the YouTube mobile app for that because, the computer's off, the laptop is stowed away and everything. And I just dismissed that. So I mean, I just disabled it. As we speak, legit right now, I just disabled the notification because I feel like some other switch is necessary for me to break out of this.
Yeah.
And I think...
Yeah, well, Yeah, go ahead.
No, just quickly, and that... during the podcast itself, across episodes, I think this is a prominent issue because I've been talking about this for at least like 4 episodes. Just mentioned
YouTube.
that YouTube is like a black hole which sucks me in, and the thing is, and it's not as I'm not really watching those like TikTok compilations. I'm not
Mm.
watching those like memes that won't let you sleep at night or something, right? Like those stupid things which would be kind of cool, but like it's fun. Like you
Yeah.
watch a compilation and it's like you laugh a bit, but then no, I would hate myself if I did that. But what I watch is like I don't know, it's hard, dude. It's like currently I'm in the midst of watching a video essay on how to write racism. It's like about a movie which was directed and it's tackling racism and all that, but like I don't know. It's like I feel like it's helping me, but at the same time, right? I'm not really doing anything productive, sort of. And
Um.
yeah.
Well, yeah. But yeah, the wise I was thinking about it is like, do you agree that if you could remove these instant temptations, like instant access to these temptations, like it would help you with focus, like with actually
Yeah.
sitting down and focusing on something, maybe reading a book that's useful for you, or maybe you downloaded a lecture series, series of lectures, and you're going through these. It's like the only thing you have, or you've got some programming task that you have to do.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like it would. Like my flatmate has been given a present of coming back by his friend, which is like a big box of all sorts of different chocolates and like sweets, and he
Oh,
doesn't eat that. And he's like, "Oh, do you want some?" And then like he just left that in the kitchen, and I was like,
oh,
"Dude, oh my god, I'm eating like so." Dude, I just put it
I
up.
would throw that out.
Yeah,
Like I would go
yeah,
and donate that to. I don't.
yeah.
Nobody
I know,
should.
right? It's like a temptation that just randomly occurred, but like, and I know I'm like I keep talking about like the way that sugar is, the white death, and like everyone knows that and all that. But it's so weird. It's like it just tricks my brain, right?
Well, it's instantly available on the counter there, right?
Exactly. So I mean,
So,
I
but
put
if
it
you
up.
had to go to the shop and buy it, that would be like an extra step. Like it's not a lot. Like if you really wanted to, you would go. But when you're just at home, you get up and you're all groggy and stuff, and you're like, oh, I just want something nice,
Mm.
and it's right there. And imagine you had to actually leave your house and walk to the shop, get some fresh air in you, right? So you get to avoid situations like these at least.
I don't think I would though, because I was ready to stand up, and I am still ready for some reason to do it after the podcast, to just like go to the shop to get some snacks.
Right, but like if you think
It's
about
weird.
it, if something you have no access at all something because of maybe your geographical location, it's
Mm.
not really going to be a problem for you ever. So there's got to be a spectrum where the further away, the less accessible something is, the less temptation you'll have to get that thing, and you know, and the less likely you are, it is to become a problem or an escapism kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true though. I mean, when I think about this exact situation again, right? Like I was gonna go to the shop, but I know that like anytime I go to the shop, it's most likely gonna take around an hour because it's a round trip. And yeah, and sometimes like I probably just think twice and not go there.
Yeah, and then even like the
Yeah.
exercise of walking there. Now, if you have a car, that changes everything. I guess not
Mm.
everything, but a lot. But for not for those reasons. But I don't have a car, and that's a plus of that, right? But I do have Lidl 5 minutes away, so
Oh yeah, that's not even 5 minutes. Like you can reach it in like 3 minutes. So like
Yeah.
it's even worse for you because yeah, I was even ready to go.
Except that food isn't a problem for me. So like fast
Oh,
food when I can order it off on online, yeah. Like I sometimes do that way too much. Um,
but
but
you should be thinking about the money that you're spending and like and also
yeah, I'm thinking about the money. Like don't.
how much different things you could actually buy even faster than the
Well, no,
delivery
no, no.
comes, right? Like imagine it takes around 20 or so minutes, right? To like for the food
I
to.
wouldn't making about the money right now.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
that's
Let's talk about
irrelevant.
time.
Like I don't have a problem with money.
Sure, let's talk about time then. Like,
And if these are things, and if these are things that are there's something that I have for myself to enjoy myself. Like I treat myself with this thing with earn money or whatever, then like why not? But not the best for health and for mental performance anyway. All the fast food,
yeah,
it's
but again,
terrible.
I'm saying think about time then, right? Like it takes how long does it take for a meal to arrive?
Well, like half an hour.
Half an hour, and you have little 3 minutes away, right?
Yeah, but what am I going to get a little? It's not the same thing. I mean, I do have korfa kebabs just like
Yeah.
outside. But as you know, one place I can't like I would get bored of that really fast. But then you have all of that choice right in your fingertips. You can have anything,
That's true. That's true though.
right? So it's not like yeah, it's like a guilty pleasure if you like.
Mm.
I don't have a problem with it. It's a guilty pleasure. So
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like you're getting immersed in that too often?
I mean, not lately,
Mm.
but I've just had recently a couple times where I just kind of went overboard. Like I thought I was like, okay, clearly things have been going too well for me. Like I've been eating well and cooking and everything. Clearly that's been going on for too long, and now I'm getting this temptation. Maybe it's because of that. But imagine the temptation just wasn't there at all. I wouldn't ever have to worry about it, you know. And if I wanted to, I would have to walk to quite a while to a lot of these places, except for korfa kebabs. But I would get bored of korfa kebabs pretty fast, and then Milano pizza. But you know,
Yeah, so like if you removed access, like instant access from
yeah,
internet,
it's
then
like
you would
it's
need to
like
walk and
imagine like you're feeling shit, right?
Mhm.
You're having the worst day. Even dragging yourself out the house is like a big effort. But then you don't have to because you can just order your food.
Right.
Like those kinds of situations. Um, so those are the downsides of the internet. But we can talk about the upsides as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with the upsides, pretty much everyone knows what the upsides are, but like, yeah, I think I'm more interested in the downsides. I've never thought about it this way, the way you present it, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Yeah. I think access to videos for me personally is both, a pro and a con because like having access to instructional videos which are interesting, but like how where's the line between like entertainment and infotainment and informationals, it's like am I just consuming them to consume? Am I don't know, because maybe I have some curiosity in me and then I'm fulfilling that by watching some video which is a kind of like a random thing.
Well, maybe yes, right?
And
But
but the thing is, right? Like maybe I could feed my curiosity by actually looking up for, I don't know, some other stuff that's actually useful. Because, like, who cares, why jet engines spin clockwise or some stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just a random thing. And like if I watched that video, my curiosity would be probably fed, but like what if I instead actually went on Google and maybe looked for some cybersecurity related stuff, which would probably be more useful in the long run.
Hmm.
Although, yeah, I don't know. Although I think in moderation, it's cool because like you may have
Well,
a
sure.
nice conversation with someone about like jet engines in the future, and they're like, "Oh, how do you know so much?" Right? It's like,
Right. If you value that a lot,
yeah,
like,
but you know,
I don't know. If you value that, I don't really care if I'm going to have an interesting conversation about something I don't care about from the start with
yeah.
somebody in the future. If you care about that, sure. But it's like if I'm for me, an interesting conversation would be something, um, about my work probably.
Hmm.
It's like if for a conversation, because it's got to have some content in it. Like for me, relaxation is like when I'm not at work, and relaxation is, well, watching YouTube. I don't talk to people about what I watch on YouTube. It's maybe playing Fall Guys or something. It's playing football. Like there's not a lot you can say about these things. You can have a chat about what if you watch football. You can have a chat about that, but then you've got to watch a good amount of football as well. Like I just pay attention to like Champions League, which is like once a year all the best European clubs compete in this tournament.
Mm.
Um, then I watch the nationals of Poland, and that's it, right? So, and I might have conversations about these occasionally, but I'm not in situations where I have such conversations most of the time anyway. Like if I'm having a conversation, I would like to have it maybe about AI or something. Like one of the few things that I would have a conversation with somebody, and it would be interesting. And like other than that, like conversations about when I meet up with my friend from Kirkcaldy, when I'm back visiting my parents and I hang out with them, like we talk about shit, like what we're doing and stuff like that. Like I don't do fucking small talk where, ooh, look, what about this kind of car? Oh, I've got this kind of computer. Oh, you've got that kind of computer. Oh,
Mm.
that's really cool. It's like, oh yeah, you can list a bunch of freaking, a bunch of computers, or a bunch of makes of laptops or earbuds or whatever. It's like I had somebody. I just bought a pair of earphones, earpods, whatever they're called, and
Ear,
I was
oh, never
I was
mind.
there in the
Earbuds,
QMB, and I
something like
was
that.
I was unboxing them, and somebody was like, "Oh, you actually got them," and I was like, "What?" It's like I would never fucking have a clue if I saw somebody unboxing some earbuds what the hell they were. How closely do you have to follow technology and give a shit about it to be like, "Oh, you actually got these ones"? What? It's like, I don't have time for that, dude.
Hmm. This question sounds interesting because it's like maybe the person actually knows that you were talking about these earpods before.
No,
Because I
no,
mean, that sounds to me like,
nobody knew I was getting them. Like I didn't tell anybody I was getting them.
you sure?
Uh, but it's like not just that situation. It's just the general uh thing with people knowing like so many. I mean, I guess it's a man thing. I'm more feminine, I guess.
Mm.
Like I don't I care about things that I'm going to use, like knowledge that I'm going to use. I don't care about the specs of every fucking laptop that's came out in 2020, or
Yeah.
like the newest. Like if I was working with graphics cards, if I was needed to choose graphics cards for like doing some AI stuff, running some AI stuff on my computer, then I would know something about graphics cards in that domain.
Mm.
But yeah, like it just stuns me how often And I'll get so much if somebody listens to this podcast. I get so much shit for this because everybody literally, not everybody, but so many people like know so much about such irrelevant, have so much useless knowledge
Mm-hmm.
just for the sake of knowing. But
That's an interesting concept, useless knowledge. Do you think we could eventually have a little chat and the podcast about this useless knowledge? Because it's like maybe for some other people this
yeah.
isn't, but in the general sense,
Well, no,
yeah.
the point I'm making is like you're not a hardware designer, or you're not putting together PCs for a living. Why do you know so much about them? It's like, yeah, people have hobbies and that's why they know these things. But yeah, like sure, that's just other people. I don't know. I'm being a cunt.
It's just like
But
just
like
keeping
for
up with the
me,
Joneses or something, right?
yeah, just keeping up for the sake of keeping up about with these things. Like you don't need them for your work or whatever. But I guess yeah, that's what people do. I'm just being a bit cunt right now. But
No, but like, but by proposing this critical view, I'm actually seeing that it kind of has, yeah, it makes sense, at least somewhat. You know, it's like not everything is useful, and maybe if the person likes to keep up with like the trends or something, and it gives them enjoyment, but at the same time, maybe the person should reconsider. Maybe it's just the same way that I'm consuming YouTube. It's like, do I have to, right? It's the same thing. It's like, sure, you're knowledgeable in an area and that's cool, you know, being an expert in something is great. But at the same time, if you actually realize that you only use that knowledge once every few years when you're buying your new computer or something, and then you're almost daily, you know, following the trends of technology, and I don't know. We're gonna have a module this year called Technology Innovation
research
Management.
frontiers. What? Oh, we're gonna have that?
No, it's just like
What?
one of those which we're choosing. So I was thinking Technology Innovation Management, whatever that means. It's probably
Yeah, it's like if you're a tech presenter. If you're a tech presenter, sure, like you should probably follow these things because it's your job. I mean, I don't know. People find interest in these things, but I just find them tiring. Like to me, that's like work, and I don't think. I just think it's a matter of how people split up their work and life.
True.
I feel like people do some things that they think are leisurely, and really they're actually doing something that requires a lot of work and effort. It's like, but yeah, it's like there's certain games that I will play, right? To give an example of on myself, that I will be like, well, this is something I've recently actually come to realize that there's many games that I play and they almost become like work. They're not even relaxing. It's like when I play competitive games, or when I used to play competitive games a lot, like CS:GO. It's like you get to a certain point where it becomes work. Like you're going in and you're practicing your aim to play the game. And it's like, I guess
it gives you a sense of accomplishment and
exactly, but yeah, exactly that. But you could be trying to get that in your work. And I realized that, and like there's games where I play where I don't put any effort and I do actually enjoy them. It's like when people when people watch TV, like I can understand why, like my parents like watched TV and like I couldn't care about TV, but I had so much time on my hands, so I played video games and I didn't have any work apart from school, right? And it's like nowadays just sitting down and watching a show feels so much more relaxing. The fact that I have actual work to do now.
Like passive recreational activities.
Yeah.
When you don't have to watch and like do something during the activity. Makes sense.
But yeah, but it's like a personal observation. It might be somehow biased, but I think there's certainly activities which we think are leisurely, but they're actually very taxing on us mentally and physically, maybe too. Probably mentally. Like, and you see this also. Some, you hear these stories of people getting bad grades, right? When they start playing like World of Warcraft or League way too much. And like I've never played these games. I don't want to touch them. Like, one, I probably wouldn't enjoy them, but two, like if to get into them would be a lot of work, I think. And then once I get into them, I'd be like, I put in so much work, I'm gonna just keep going, and then I'd probably get addicted to them. But yeah, you hear these stories of people like giving up on important things in their lives, and they're not putting in as much work into their studies and effort into their studies when they start to play these and when they get addicted to these. And it's like, clearly it becomes their work, right? Where you have to, like, I don't know what they do in these games, like dungeon runs and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't think every single person enjoys the game. Well, every single person who's addicted or is playing daily. I don't think everyone enjoys it. People are just doing it to do it.
Yeah.
So that was us this time. Thank you guys for listening and see y'all later.